All right, good morning, guys. It is Thursday morning, and just before we start reviewing 6 through 10, I wanted to show you guys this again. Remember, this is what we talked about yesterday. This is in vertex form right here. Remember that f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. A is going to be your reflection if a is negative. If a is greater than 1, if it's a whole number, it's going to be a stretch. And if a is less than 1, it's going to be a shrink, which means if that's a fraction, it's going to be a shrink. If h, remember here, h is in the parentheses with its x, it's trapped with its x. And when you're trapped with your x, you always do the opposite. And so if h is negative, that's actually going to be moving to the right. And if h is positive, it's going to be moving to the left. You do the opposite of what you would normally think. K is on the outside here, so you're going to move either up or down. And that is not the opposite, so it's going to be exactly what you would think. All right. So on number 7 here, it tells us that we're going to have a stretch by 2, which means I'm going to put a 2 out in front of the parentheses. All right, and then it says a shift to the left 5. So normally I would think I'm going to put minus 5, but because I'm trapped with my x, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to put plus 5. All right, and that's going to be squared. A lot of us forgot to put that squared yesterday, so be sure you put that squared in there as well. And then down 1 is exactly what I would think. I just put minus 1 at the end. All right. For the first number 8 here, it just tells us two things. First off, it tells us that we're going to have a reflection. And remember, you're going to have a reflection if a is negative. So I'm going to put a negative 1 out in front of those parentheses here. All right. It doesn't say anything about moving to the left or to the right. So I can put plus 0 squared, or you could just put x squared in there. Either one would be fine. You don't necessarily have to put the plus 0. And then last but not least, it says up 10, so I'm going to put plus 10 there. All right. And then moving on to the second number 8 that we have here, we're going to find the vertex. Our vertex is at 7, 1. All right. And our vertex is always h comma k. A lot of people did really good yesterday remembering that the vertex was h comma k. And if I can remember that, then I can remember to put it in vertex form, which would say x minus 7, because I always do the opposite of my x. And then I'm going to put plus 1 out here on the outside. All right, and so that would be my final answer for the second number 8. All right, number 9, it says convert the quadratic function y equals 2 times x minus 1 squared plus 3. Our first step here would be to just go ahead and separate those parentheses to be x minus 1 times x minus 1. All right, and we want to go ahead and FOIL this. Remember, we multiply the two first terms together. So I still got that 2 on the outside, x times x, x squared. And then I've got x times negative 1, which would give us negative 1x. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And then negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. And then plus 3 at the end. All right, I do have like terms inside the parentheses here. Negative 1x and negative 1x combined to give us negative 2x. And then I want to get rid of these parentheses here by distributing this 2 to all three terms. So that would give us 2x squared minus 4x, and then plus 2, and then plus 3 at the end. All right, last but not least, we've got 2 plus 3, which is going to give us 2x squared minus 4x, and then plus 5, and that's going to be our final answer for number 9. All right, a lot of people did really well on number 9 yesterday, so great job with that. All right, and then last but not least, we're going to find the vertex on number 10. And to do that, you're going to go to Desmos.com. Right? And when you go to Desmos.com, you would plug in our function here, which just says x squared plus 6x plus 11. And if I plug that in, I find that I have a vertex here at negative 3, 2. So our vertex, if we plug it into Desmos, we figure out is at negative 3, 2. So that's my h and k value. And just like we did on number 8 here, we're just going to plug it in and say y equals. There's a 1 out front because our a value right here was 1. Because if this is standard form, we got ax squared plus bx plus c. A is still 1. So it's going to be 1 in vertex form again. All right, and then I put x, and it's going to end up being plus 3 squared because it's trapped with its x. You do the opposite, and then plus 2 at the end. And so here's our vertex form of our function that was in standard form. All right, so today you guys need to do the rest of the packet, which is just this page right here. All right, it should already have the graph drawn for you. If it does not, if you have downloaded the copy that does not have the graph already drawn for you, here's the graph. This is what it's supposed to look like. And then you need to answer all these questions that are on this page. All right. Remember, guys, we do have a quiz tomorrow, and I will be on Teams. I will be on Canvas through Teams from 10:30 to 11:30 to answer any questions that you have about the packet. All right. So please be on and feel free to join there and ask your questions. All right. Bye, guys.